Hi, dear students. I am Dr. Bhimappa, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Grade College for Women, Davangere. Now I am going to explain about an essay written by Aniolumba, that is Introduction to Post-Colonialism. This topic is prescribed for final year optional English students of Davangere University in literary theory, that is 8th paper. So, this essay is explained in three ways. One is introduction, second one is how this post-colonialism is explained by other critics and theorists, and the last one is conclusion of Ania Lumba. Ania Lumba is an Indian writer, Indian critic, Indian scholar, and she is a famous theorist also. She is a good scholar of so many works. She has written so many scholarly works on colonialism and post-colonialism. So her famous works are, one is Colonialism, Post-Colonialism, which was published in 1998. Second one is Shakespeare, Race and Colonialism, which was published in 2002. Post-colonialism, according to Ania Lumba, post-colonialism, it is referring to the period or the literature which was after 1980. So she says that post-colonial criticism is a significant development in the history of English literature and also mainly in literary theory in the late 1980s. So, its origin can be seen in the texts of many writers, particularly in the texts of three modern writers or post-colonial writers. One is French, Frantz, French Fanon, Fanon', French Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. Second one, Chinua Achebe's colonial criticism. And third one is Edward Said's Orientalism. That means Ania Lumba is going to explain this essay on the basis of how these three writers, this post-colonialism got its origin. Then many post-colonial critics and theorists attack the Eurocentric and literature as having universal application to make non-European cultural form to the margins. That means it is about how the literature of Eurocentric. Eurocentric means literature which is mainly based on what we call European literature, European writers. And non-European cultural form, how they are mixed together or clashed after 1980s, that is explained. Then the European writers, that means European writers or Western writers, regarded non-European literature as inferior and not have characteristics of Westerners. That means usually the Western writers or European writers, they were thinking other literature, other literary theories as in the characteristics of African, as in the characteristics of European literature. So they did not consider good opinion about non-European literature. Then Ania Lumba refers mainly two writers, that means to sustain her ideas about introduction to post-colonialism. She explains by taking the opinions of two literary critics. One is Edward Said, another one is Homike Baba. So, Ania Lumba refers mainly two writers. One is Edward Said, another one is Omike Baba, to explain the introduction to post-colonial criticism. She says that post-colonial criticism is the representation of non-European in Western literature. Representation of non-European literature in Western literature or European literature. So, it is also post-colonial literature is also writing on non-European cultural traditions, customs, particularly colonized Western countries. She refers Edward Said's Orientalism and another work, Culture and Imperialism. That means she takes two works of Edward Said. Edward Said is a great 20th century literary critic and theorist and also post-colonial writer. So he gives 5 points, 5 ideas about post-colonialism that is explained by this Ania Lumba. So according to him, according to Edward Said, post-colonial criticism is concerned with the relation between imperialism policy and power of the Westerners or Europeans. So, post-colonial criticism is concerned with the relation between imperialism and Western art and culture. Second point, he attacks the Eurocentrism. Eurocentrism means the literature which is centered around European writers. So, second point, he attacks the Eurocentrism of conventional conception of comparative literature. Third one is Western literature should not. So, his idea, he is going to give another idea in the third point. Western literature should not neglect or devalue non-European cultural forms, or it should not defame, or it should not condemn the non-European literature. So, and also the culture which is itself devalued. So she says that, Edward Said says that in the third point. So I repeat again, Western literature should not neglect or devalue non-European literature, non-European cultural forms. And culture is, Western culture is itself devalued. So that literature, that means European literature or European writer should not condemn or devalue this African non-European literature. So in the fourth point, we should, he says that we should begin to reread and rewrite it. That means it is necessary to reread and reread post-colonialism, or particularly this non-European literature contrapuntly. Contrapuntly means counterpart. So in the fifth point, Edward Said says that we should consider that every cultural form, it is both art and literature. So we should consider that every cultural form is radically and essentially hybrid. So European writers should not condemn, they should not devalue non-European literature or any kind of other than the European literature. So like this, Ania Lumba points out 5 points of Edward Said on post-colonialism. Then she takes up another great post-colonialist, that is Homike Bhabha. He is a theorist and also a critic also. So, according to him, that means Ania Lumba, she points out mainly 5 points of post-colonialism which is opined by this Homike Bhabha. One is, it is necessary to bring post-colonial concerns into relation with contemporary critical theory in a radical way. So first one is, I repeat, it is necessary to bring post-colonialist concern into relation with contemporary critical theory in a radical way. Basically, it should be understood. Second one is his concern. The concern of Homike Bhabha is with the construction of the subject to focus on colonial subject as other. That means stereotype. Third one is the discourse. That means common spoken language and use of statements. The discourse will work as a tool of power to interpret a particular language. Discourse of any non-European literature, definitely it will be acting, or it will definitely act as a powerful tool. So that tool may be used against these European literature. That is the idea of this Homike Bhabha. So fourth point, the purpose of colonial discourse is to interpret the colonized on the basis of racial origin. So fourth one is, the purpose, the intention of colonial discourse is to interpret the colonized on the basis of racial origin. Colonized means colonized countries. Next, fifth one is, it is to justify conquest and to establish systems of administration and instruction. Like this, this Ania Lumba points out 5 important things of Homike Bhabha about post-colonialism. So to conclude, Ania Lumba says that in this way, post-colonial criticism is the written literature and theories which come after empire. Which come after empire means after colonization, what the literature and theories have come, those are called, that is called as post-colonialism according to Ania Lumba. So post-colonial literature is that which critically scrutinizes the colonial relationship with non-colonial relationship. It is written that sets off in one way or another to resist colonial perspectives. At last, Ania Lumba points out 2 main characteristics of it. One is subordinating power of European colonialism. One is subordinating power of European colonialism. Second one is as a set or as a group of discursive practices. Discursive practices means resistance to colonialism, resistance to ideologies, or whatever the kinds of legacies that has. So like this, at last she points out main 2 characteristics in post-colonialism. One is subordinating power of European colonialism. Another one is as a set of discursive practices. So in this way, she is explaining in this essay 10 main important characteristics of post-colonialism. They are, one is colonial languages, The second one is meta narrative. Third one is colonialism. Fourth one is colonial discourse. Fifth one is rewrite history or reread history. Sixth one is decolonizing struggles. Seventh one is nationhood or nationalism. That means the idea of patriotism, the patriotism in the non-European literature. That is seventh one is nationalhood and nationalism. Eighth one is valorization of cultural identity. Ninth one is counter discourse to European literature. 10th one is challenging stereotypes of literature. This last one, that is challenging stereotypes, means stereotypes of writings of both colonized and colonizer writers. So in this way I have tried my level best to give in a brief and easy way to write about post-colonialism, which is written by Ania Lumba. This may be appeared for 10 marks as main question, and also 1 question for short notes. So I feel that definitely this will be useful for final year optional English major students of Davangere University. If you are satisfied, you share this with others, and also if you have any doubts, any clarifications or any queries, I request you, you are always welcome to accept your all of those ideas or opinion or any kind of suggestions. So you may call me at any time to my number, that is 98444459. So if you are satisfied with this what we call the explanation with this video, you may give your opinion also. So I think that definitely these are the things what I have explained helping to the examination particularly. So I hope this is enough. So I am going to wind up my this explanation about post colonialism. Thank you very much.